All right. In this video, I want to talk about why I am starting a YouTube channel. So I think for me, this is something that I've had on my mind for quite some time. Being more consistent of sharing online or just sharing my experience online. Like I said, has been something that's been sort of on the back burner of something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's just hasn't been something that I've totally prioritized up until this point. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Kronfly. I am a marketing and operations consultant, mostly in the mortgage and real estate space. I'm looking to sort of branch out a little bit into just like kind of the more financial services space. But up until this point, that's what I've been doing. I've started a couple businesses. Have the experience that I've had from that so far has been, sort of definitely a driving factor of why I want to start this channel now. And I think in those businesses and the projects that I've been involved in, the role that I feel like has served me best or where I've had the greatest impact is very much in a sort of back end kind of systems and operations role. It's just where I feel like I operate best, sort of on the behind the scenes. And so, sort of building my personal brand or sharing information online has just never been something that I've totally done. And I think it also comes down to, up until this point, I haven't necessarily felt like I've had like something specific to share or, call it a voice, call it a message, call it whatever you want. But like I said, I think up until this point, I've sort of like in my mind, I've always like prioritized, I am posting for other businesses and building other people's brands, but I know I'm not doing it for my own. Again, like I said, it hasn't been something that I've totally prioritized. And then I would definitely say over the last 18 months of the experience that I've had, it's given me some space to, think a little bit and dissect that a little bit. And, there are, as I was starting to think about, starting this channel and sort of started to brainstorm some reasons why, I really want to use this video as an opportunity to just share a little bit of that and almost just give myself, some space just to, kind of have a free flowing, kind of almost thoughts to myself. So first things first. Why I'm starting this channel. So one is I want to share my experience so far, just, my own journey, just to see if it would, help other people sort of along their own path, maybe even give people inspiration just to get, started on, their own journey of pursuing, starting a business or entrepreneurship or, just diversifying and making more money online, whatever that might look like, or even starting a channel, whatever that might look like, for other people. But again, I think sharing that experience, for me, if I could, help anybody, save some time making the right decisions, save money making the right decisions, I'll definitely have done my job there. Another one is, sharing sort of like what has worked and what I've learned. Hopefully this opens up the conversation for other people to share, what has worked and what what they've learned in their own experience of, pursuing this stuff. Maybe that will, shorten my own learning curve as I continue to kind of pursue, this over the long term. Another big one is, looking to sort of expand and build my network, more and more, just attracting people that are on a similar journey that are looking to, get maybe similar outcomes out of their lives. That's just, having that strong network and having people, around you as I've, continued to sort of go down this journey. A big lesson that I've learned is, if you really want to feel bulletproof, building and cultivating a strong network around you seriously is key. And you don't always have to necessarily have all the right answers, but if you can go to people very easily and either, get that answer for them or connect to people, that gives you a lot of place of, it gives you value in that relationship. Another big reason is last year I started a business with a partner of mine, and we decided to end that relationship in November last year. And that's a separate topic. It's a separate video. It's something that I do definitely want to get into and go deeper into. But one of the big takeaways that I had from that experience was there is a lot of locked up, let's just call it equity and sort of leverage in your name and your personal brand. And like I've said in the past, the roles that I have sort of seeked out and where I feel like I operate best is on the behind the scenes. But that experience, like I said, I've very clearly seen now the value of building your own personal brand and just sharing this stuff online. So I have no idea what this is all going to turn into, which is kind of exciting, just to get started and not really have an idea of, or have some direction, but just sort of let it, evolve naturally on its own. That is something that I'm super, excited about. So yeah, that's definitely a big reason. The other big one is that financially things are weird right now. Like the markets are a bit unstable. I think we're officially in a recession. And personal finance has been something that I've been very passionate about, very curious about. And I feel like I've worked a lot on my own personal relationship with money And so now I feel like there are, sort of not necessarily philosophies, but almost like frameworks and systems that I do want to share that have had a very positive impact on me, not only on just my ability to increase my monthly income, but also just thinking about money on a more macro vision and just having right financial targets and sort of my own, ability to construct my roadmap to, what I want to accomplish, as far as like very specific financial targets, not just like, again, money on kind of a macro vision, but just, being very clear on what it means to me, and sort of what I'm after over the long term. Having clarity on that, like, this is something that I, again, I'm super passionate about, I'm super curious about. I don't want to go too deep into this right now because these are videos that I want to get deep into. But just as I have worked through my own relationship with money, I found the impact that it has had on my quality of life, my experience of life, and I can see just like very clearly where that comes from. So being able to share that just for anybody that is, trying to navigate sort of uncertain times, and not even just uncertain times now, but what I love about, the philosophy of money that I feel like I've adopted over the last, 5-6 years, it works irregardless of what's happening in the markets right now. Like, I don't really pay attention to the markets in the short term because I'm thinking about, or because I have those frameworks, those foundations and principles sort of set in stone and in place, and I can follow that regardless of what's happening externally around me. So again, sharing that stuff is, something that I'm very much looking forward to. Another one is having a library of conversations that I want to publish. And this is something that basically was like the main sort of motivating factor behind starting the channel and sort of what I'm calling Systems of Wealth from the very beginning in the first place. I started to realize that like I had this network of people around me, other entrepreneurs that, think way bigger than I do and way smarter than I am. And I wanted to just have these sort of open and kind of free-flowing conversations with them, mainly to understand sort of the effect of their good decisions. Like, I think we see a lot of, we see the outcome of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 2 decades of like, pursuing entrepreneurship or making, good and sort of wrong decisions, and the experiences and the learning lessons that come out of that. And I really want to dissect and sort of study and understand the cause of what has gotten them to the point of where they are now. And I feel like, a lot of these people that I'm going to interview are living, the lives that I feel like, they're just doing it the right way. And again, if I could dissect sort of their own journey and take learning lessons from that and apply it to my own sort of, experience and what I, continue to sort of think, I know that would have a very big impact, not only on me, but just the people, anybody that is consuming those conversations. So that is something that I'm super, excited about, very curious about. I have, a handful ready to publish right now, and I'm going to slowly, kind of drip those out a little bit over time. So just to recap a little bit again, like, I want to share this experience, share my experience so far. Maybe it helps other people. I almost feel like I'm talking to like my 21, 22-year-old self that's sort of looking for the North Star, looking to, break out and, accomplish his dreams, that sweet little Noah. So, that's definitely one of it, documenting my own journey, sharing this information, on entrepreneurship, on, investing, managing money, personal finance, a lot of it, good stuff. And then again, having good conversations with, the people that are already in my network that I really just love and trust, and, people that I've, I can call mentors and can call friends. Those are conversations that I'm very much looking forward to, recording, publishing, and producing. And then the last thing that I want to touch on here is, so Systems of Wealth, and this is something that I want to get into in a later video as well, because I feel like it deserves sort of its own, time for me just to kind of brainstorm on that as well, or just sort of, allow the free-flowing thoughts to come. But Systems of Wealth originally I was trying to think of a way to, quite honestly, I value honesty and transparency. So like, I'm never really going to hold anything back from this channel, but I wanted Systems of Wealth. Like, I was trying to figure out a way to build a product around that, to build a service around it. I'm still struggling with it. I'm not really quite sure what that looks like. And honestly, at this point, I do not have anything to sell really to anybody. And I like it that way because it's given me an opportunity to sort of take a little bit of pressure off of this channel and just allow it to, allow myself just to sort of post and be consistent with posting and not necessarily have a transactional agenda. But what Systems of Wealth is at right now is sort of my ability to, or my opportunity to connect anybody that is, has come across this channel or will come across this channel, either vibes with sort of, the information that I'm sharing, or is just looking for a little bit of help with getting started with any area of sort of their financial services. So whether it's looking to get started with investing in real estate, or getting started with maybe like an LLC formation, or you need access to capital, or you want to do credit repair, or you want to get a life insurance policy set up. These are all things that I have pursued sort of behind the scenes, I guess, on my own individually, and have had good experiences, I've had bad experiences. And I think, at this point, I've attracted a really good, strong network of financial professionals around me, people that I consider to be absolute experts at what they do. So if I could bridge the gap, if someone that is, looking to get started in any of those areas, and just have sort of a VIP kind of like expert handoff introduction to, somebody in my network that I really love and trust, hopefully that'll save you time, it'll save you money, and it'll give you, a resource of someone that you can go to and ask, questions and get better answers to. People that can just, guide you and direct you and are, legitimately, in the position to do that. So again, that's something that I'm, looking forward to, opening the door for other people and doing that. And again, hopefully along the way, we can build a relationship, and, really do this over the long term. And if I could, leave anybody with anything from this first video, something that has served me really well in my career up until this point is, and this is something that I've learned from a guy named Naval Ravikant. I love this quote. He says, "Play long-term games with long-term people." I've always loved that. It's always helped me of like thinking about it from almost like expanding my own time horizon, like thinking a little bit more long-term and thinking about the inputs that I'm putting in now and what that is going to lead to over the long term. Because I know for me personally, like one of the big things that I'm definitely battling with right now, and something that I've always sort of, tried to work through, is my impatience, having like a clear idea of an outcome or an output, and focusing on that solely and wanting that to happen now and right away and just faster than when that really would happen. And what sort of kind of stabilizes me is coming back to focusing on just the small inputs and not necessarily like allowing sort of like the output to just naturally evolve and let it be. And really just spending the majority of my time on, what's happening right now and the best inputs possible, and not trying to solve problems before they exist. And again, sort of letting that, naturally evolve the way that it's going to. So again, thank you for everyone that has, if you're watching this video up until this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Would love for you to, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave anything, feedback on this video, topics that you'd be curious about, hearing from over the long term. But again, I'm looking to, post, a video once a week. We'll see what this looks like. Super excited for, a new sort of start, a new journey. This is super cool. So again, thank you for everybody watching, listening. Appreciate your time, your energy, your effort, and your attention. To all my builders out there, I salute you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.